I would love to find out a little bit about the visual side of your business. I know that you have worked on all kinds of soundtracks and music that's been used in a plethora of films. And obviously, the visual is one of the most impactful mediums that we have today to not only help brand the artist, but also in many ways captivate an audience. I'd love to learn a little bit from your perspective how you've used the visual to enhance an artist's career, or maybe build awareness for a particular movement or song.
I think we are actually now coming to the point where we are going to engage the visual medium. So far we have been working on developing the music and getting the music right, and because eventually people are going to listen to the music, and that's where the fan base is made. The visual medium is the most powerful medium of communication. So as somewhere I read it and it was in an audio book, which says that the sound is the stepchild of film, or something like that. And I was like, this is an audio book, wow, So, but that's what it is. So to understand human behavior is very important. So, so we're just at the point where so sync is different, where how songs are placed in movies is different. But when you're going to create content around your artist now, that itself is another agenda. So it's got to be likable. It's got to synchronize with the vision for what the artist and how do they want to be portrayed. There's a lot of experimentation that need to be done. One of our young artists, she's studying at Harvard. She's a 19-year-old Indian girl, and so we said, how are we going to come out with the first visual? And we have a friend in New York, and he said that why don't we do like a 3D video? And we had a limited budget, but tons of creativity, and he offered to go out of the way to develop this concept, which is going to be just shot in one room. So that's about ready now, and it'll be a novelty when it comes out. It'll have its own little charm. It'll help us get launched. So we're experimenting. I mean,
nice.
I think one of the senses that we have learned to develop is common sense. So
I like that.
Otherwise everything else is so sophisticated these days that we actually forget where we are. That there's something called common sense.
I like that. So Ross, when you were talking about your company, one of the facets or tenets that you mentioned was technology. So I would love to learn a little bit about how you've used technology to propel an artist, to propel maybe a song or a movement that you've been involved in.
Great question. Technology has been an integral part into the production process for recording and sound design and producing music. And I believe that every artist, composer, writer, producer should strive for their own sound, their own signature. And in our case, with Archipelago, it's taking sounds from our planet, recording them with something as simple as an iPhone or a fancy high-quality recorder, and using technology that we all have on our Macs or our Windows machines and transform those sounds into music. Taking the sound of running water, granulizing that, and then putting it into Melodyne and to create chords out of it. Banging a bridge, maybe the Golden Gate one day for a kick drum, something like that. Immersing yourself into this beautiful, amazing planet that we live on and using this as our studio, our planet as our studio, kind of bailing traditional recording, studios and techniques. With that said, and that philosophy, not only just for myself, but for the artists that we have developed and worked with in all different areas of the country, in different markets, and even the well-seasoned artists that are still developing and nurturing their sound and developing and augmenting to their path in their career. Being able to provide something a little bit different has been invaluable, and the technology is there, and we have just so many tools at our fingertips, but it's also up here.
Right.
It's all up here and how you can take a sound and rework it. And so technology, that would be my gut response, is just technology has allowed my team and myself and peers all around the music industry to, if you can think it, you can make it nowadays.
Very nice.
So it's been great to implement that with the music.
Nice.
Yeah.